Hey, good morning, everyone. Dave Wilson of Results Staffing, and we will be right back after this commercial. My favorite saying. Here we go. Isn't that opening pretty cool?
Yeah, I love that. So dramatic.
Isn't it? I mean, you feel like you're at a movie place. You can hear everything. And hey, good morning, everyone. Dave Wilson of Results Staffing. And, I have with me James Plemblington, and he is located in Greater Nottingham. How you doing, James?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good.
Good. Over in the UK. And Richard and I had James back on that was for the Shark Week, or it was closely around.
Yeah.
It was
the
close.
Ring of Hire show.
Yeah, we had them on there also. And today, the reason I wanted to have James back on the show is you have to hear, I'm sorry, but some of the stories that James been doing to find employment. James, first of all, just introduce yourself and tell us everything about yourself.
So my name's James. I used to be a project manager for a theme park, looking after lots of cool, exciting rides, installs, scare mazes, and everything to do with audio-visual elements across the resort. It was me and my team that would look after that. Since this crazy pandemic has hit, I was made redundant. And it was after I'd applied for probably about 50 jobs and heard absolutely nothing back. I thought, right, I know I've got skills in managing teams. I know I can look after large budgets and all that kind of thing. I need to make sure that me and my CV stand out from the other hundreds of applicants that are applying for the same job.
Well, it's standing out with me, and I wanted to introduce you to this gentleman here. He's a good friend, Steven. Morning, Steve.
Good morning.
He's a regional for, we got to study here a little bit. He works for Elwood Staffing. We all know why I'm a little bit quiet with my slurring. I'm not even going to go there. But, Steve, you got to listen to what James has done to try to find himself a job. So, James, what is the Hirejpcom?
So, Hirejpcom is a website that I made that showcases my CV. It's got some videos. It's got our Ring of Hire show video on there. It's also got an interests page, so it tells you a bit more about me away from my skills. And so I've made that because my CV and how, I don't know if it's the same in the US, but over here, the shorter it is, almost the better. So, keep it to 2 pages so that it's punchy and it's got the key elements for that job. But my skills and everything I've done is quite hard to narrow down to just 2 pages. So I thought, my co-host is trying to find a Hoover at the moment.
Andrew, there he
is. So yeah, that's why I thought let's put everything that I've done and all my skills into a website. I was like, right, how do I get people to that website? And that's when I came up with it's either a crazy, mad idea or it's genius, but a brownie, so an edible CV, essentially.
Hey everybody, and I want to Andres. He's another great colleague of mine. We used to work at Staff Mark, and like I said, Steve. Now pay attention to what he's talking about, you guys. We're really going out of the way with these brownies. You guys are going to really enjoy this part.
So edible CV. So it's a brownie with a QR code printed on top of it. I've sent these out to potential employers. They scan that QR code, takes them through to my website where they can read all about me. I sent about 15 out. Obviously, didn't quite work because I'm still looking for a job, but it did open the door to a few conversations with companies that I'd like to work for. So that was really good that, it started, other than just, a CV in an email that can potentially get lost in the hundreds that company might receive. This stands out. So I thought, okay, that was quite good. What else can I do?
I love it. Look at that.
Got mugs.
Now, come on, Steve. Look at that. Pink shirt. This is amazing. This
afternoon, so it's 2:00 in the UK. So at 4, I'm getting the back of my car wrapped with an advert that says Hirejpcom. I'm looking for work. And then in 2 weeks, my face will be on the back of a truck that is going to be traveling nationwide, again with a bit of an advert. Which the truck idea, so that wasn't, I can't take credit for that idea. It was a competition that ran on Twitter with Driven Media and Zook. So Driven Media are a company that put adverts onto vehicles, and Zook are a recruitment company in the UK, and they ran this competition. I applied and won that. So yeah, I think it's next week, actually, next Wednesday. That gets done. So I'll send you some photos and you can see that when that's done.
Yeah, because Steve's like, what? A truck?
That's right.
He said he wants to have to see that. So I guarantee, Steve, James will put that on there. And James, what do you find is still the hardest struggles there in the UK? I mean, I know with everything going on here, we're starting to open up more logistic jobs, but for what you're looking for, what are your struggles? He's got his little one. This is the great part about working from home remotely. I know he has his little son. He's running around there. He's chasing him. He'll be right back in a second here. Oh, talk more about resumes. There you go, Dave. I know, right? I'm sitting here froze. Let's see. He's going to sign right back on. And like I was saying, James, the reason I really enjoyed bringing James onto the show, and he'll come back, is this gentleman has done so much to find work. Can you imagine making your own coffee cup, right? Can you imagine making yourself a T-shirt that you're looking for work, right? He's rebooting, so that's okay. So, I mean, can you imagine doing all this, making a website of you're looking for work, your own website, to go to try to find work? Can you imagine if more, if that's like thinking, I'm sorry, that's thinking outside of the box. That's even goes further out. I'm sorry. That is just crazy. And when we had him on Hire Me Friday, he did a video resume for us. And what we experienced was getting the video to the employers. I would go after the employers. And James feels that since I'm in the US and he's in the UK, that they wouldn't open the video resume. Here he is. Let's see. There he is. He's coming back to life. There you are.
Sorry about that.
That's right. I'm sitting here being quiet, and Steve's like, "Talk more about resumes, Dave," because I was like, I'm sitting there, you know. But like we were saying before, what have you seen the struggles for you and family care and children?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's been really, really tough because there are. Yeah, you have to be quiet though. You're going to sit here and watch. You can watch if you like.
There he is.
So although there are jobs around, there's when I go onto websites that showcase loads of different jobs in the area or just in the UK in general, there's lots of jobs, hundreds, thousands, but it's jobs that either I'm suited for, so I've come from the events and the sort of hospitality industries, and they're obviously the most affected with this pandemic.
Right, they still are here.
Yeah, and trying to find work in another industry. So, for example, Network Rail, which in the UK is our sort of main train line company that look after that service,
right,
is a company and a business that I'm trying to get into. But although when you look at job descriptions, the skills that they're after match a lot from me and what I've been doing, and in some aspects I think having someone with my background, without sounding like I've got a massive ego,
right,
but having the creative and the mentality that someone from an events in background has would be great for your business, because we're the type of people that 5 minutes before showtime something happens, yeah, you've got to roll a gaffer tape and you have to make it happen. We're the type of people that can do anything with pretty much anything, and
right,
as long as your guests and your people in that theatre or that conference don't know, that's the end of the game. That's the goal. Right. But yeah, so I'm trying to move industries, and I think that's where it's really hard, especially over here, because you're up against people that have got experience within that industry, and you're also up against hundreds of people against the same job, because of everyone's in the similar sort of boat. Whereas a few years ago you maybe have 20 or so apply for that job, you've now got hundreds.
Right.
And it's like, wow, which is obviously why I have to stand out.
Well, that's why like when I followed you, James, and I was telling them why you were up there about how that I was sending your video resumes to companies, and it was probably because it's from the US and maybe they didn't want to open it, and first of all, you can't get emails. I told you about that people in the UK don't put their emails on their LinkedIn profile. I don't understand that. But the reason, seriously, that I like your story is because you follow through. Look what you're doing, man. I mean, how many people would make coffee cups, T-shirts, a website, brownies? If I had someone like that here that did that, I think that would open the door so fast. Do you get any kind of feedback, like the return in investment? Let's just say that you've done the brownies. Has anybody said thank you? Or
yeah, I've had so my first set that I sent out, I sent about 15 out in total, and I sent most of them to companies that I wanted to work for,
Right.
and I sent a few to sort of local radio stations to try and get a bit more publicity, a bit more PR behind it. And out of those 10, I've probably had 2 emails back,
Right.
which was, for me, I thought was a little bit disappointing and almost a little bit rude. Because I was like, this guy's gone to so much effort. Let's at least say thanks, but no thanks. But then something that didn't cross my mind at the time, I've sent these out and potentially everyone's working from home. So there might not be anyone in the building to receive it. So I was like, okay, potentially. But, you know, the 2 that have got back to me, although they don't have any jobs at the moment, we have had a couple of conversations. They've pointed me in the right direction. They've offered me some sort of networking advice, and they're keen to sort of keep in touch with me, see how I'm going, and sort of help me through, which is, you know, invaluable.
Yeah, you got a family.
That's really good.
You know, so if you had, you know what, James, you know, and I appreciate it. I'm going to have you on until I find a job. Till you find a job, we're gonna find James a job for the whole year, for the rest of the year. But if you had to tell a company right now, you know, and I told you I'm going to help you again, we're gonna contact some people, send emails again, and I told you about putting at the person where you want to work, what company. What would you tell an employer right now? Why should they hire you?
Well, I think, one, you know, like many people, I've got skills in management. I know how to manage a team and look after that team as well. I used to be called Captain Positive at my old work because I'm the sort of guy that it could be raining outside you at 2 a.m. and you just want to go home, and I come in and you know, boost the morale and keep them going until we get the job done. But I'm much more than just the skills. You know, I'm a very positive person. I go definitely above and beyond just what's asked for, and I think that's almost more important than the skills on the paper. You can teach me to do a job, but it's having someone with the right attitude and the right drive to do it you can't teach, and that's what I've got. So hire me.
Hire me. Well, you know, when you said that, that's what I mean. What you've done, and to go above and beyond. I'm sorry, that takes a lot, and I wish I had more candidates that would do that, because it does something different. Like the video resumes and everything, it's different. It's stepping outside that comfort zone. I mean, you're putting yourself out there. You know, I know, you know, on LinkedIn, that little green, you know, the little green ring. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic, because it shows the person. I've had some people say, well, I'm embarrassed. I'm like, why are you embarrassed? Why? Why would you be embarrassed to have the green color in there that you're seeking work? Let your colleagues on LinkedIn help you find a job.
Yeah.
I mean, you're open to work. If I maybe one of these days I'll be putting that on there, you know, but I wouldn't be afraid to, because I'm the type of person like you is to think outside. You know, the brownies, I'll use Dunkin' Donuts. We have Dunkin'. Do you have Dunkin' Donuts over there?
No, I don't think we do. Although I did. So good few years ago, me and my band came over to Boston to record an album.
Right.
One of the engineers there used to get Dunkin' Donuts for us in the morning. So I'm familiar with him.
And then I wanted to one point that you mentioned there is, and then I wish that a lot of employers around here would realize, is what you exactly said is you have the skills. Okay, you've done this certain type of job. You're trying to go outside of that, your norm, but because you know you can do it if you're just trained. Okay. That is where a lot of companies, I think, need to go in that direction, because you have these skills, like you say, in entertainment. Same thing with me. I have a DJ business, which, you know, I've done for 25 years. I've lost it until next year. But in the events, it does. I know what you're talking about. It puts you right on the spot. You got to make a decision right then. You know, you're in front of a couple hundred people, and for you, it's a couple thousand. You got to make that show happen. And that is stress. Anybody that doesn't know anything about that, that is totally stress. But you're willing to learn something else, but they need to invest in you, because you have skills, but it just doesn't match that job. What's the difference? Do you see companies like that giving opportunities to yourself? Or, well, you wouldn't be here if they did, but that makes sense, right? But do you see anything like that? Will they train? Do companies train you?
Yes, they do. Yeah. I mean, I think it was easier to get that kind of job where you needed a bit more training before this pandemic. I think now they're more after people that are just ready to come in, and I think they're probably finding it hard to come up with a way that they could train someone new with all these new rules and regulations. At present, it's a bit difficult for companies, which I understand, but I think I'm not really a gambling man, but I think it's the sort of thing that I'd like to think that someone that's maybe high up in a company, like CEO, that kind of person that sees the effort that myself and some other of these candidates that are doing something a bit different, a bit creative, and it's like, right, okay, let's give this guy a go, because clearly if he's doing that to find a job, what's he going to do when he gets the job?
That's right. There is exactly what I mean, because you've gotten creative here. It's just like when you have your own business, you've got to be creative and get outside, because they're not going to notice you. And for that, I commend you. And I really, we're 2 weeks from now, we're coming back on again. I don't care until you get that job, but really, everybody, check James out. We're gonna really try to help him out. Hirejp. You got to show that coffee cup one more time in your T-shirt. There it is. Hirejpcom and the T-shirt. There it is. I mean,
even on the back, that's a little bit of my CV there.
That is it. I'm done. Drop the microphone, as we call it. You have what on the back of that? You
guys call it resume, but CV over in the UK, just a quick, and then some of me skills down here.
That's it. We're at it. That is it. That is. I'll tell you what. You better put a patent on that for over here. Wow, that is insane. So James, thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. And we are 2 weeks. We'll be back again, and we're going to follow this whole story all the way through. I don't care if it takes us 10 years, man.
Let's hope not.
No, I know it won't. So I appreciate it, James, and we're going to end it here today. And as I always say, we always want to make sure we are going offline.